This video is brought to you by Against the Flow of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is a book about Jake Fayard, a Marine veteran who is unhappy with the political machine running the state of Mississippi. He decides to fight the corruption from the inside. Jake will face more challenges than he ever has and will stand up for what he thinks is right. His notoriously hot temper will push him to the edge of murder, along with his friend and brother Kobe Barhanovich. Together, they will fight the system and give the power back to the citizens of Mississippi.
Against the Flow of Mississippi was written by Anthony Oksenholt and was published by Oksenholt Biloxi Publishing, LLC. A link to the book will be placed in the description below.
Yeah, this a revolution in our time. Everybody's fighting, change coming, yes. That's why it's an acronym for riot. Everybody has a voice. Don't you dare stay silent. If you say nothing, you are an accessory to violence.
They've had their say. Seems like they've had that kind of say around here for too long. I had to stand up for myself alone. I went in there to remind them that somewhere in this world there's still a little law and order left. To let them know in the only kind of terms that their kind understand is that they can't bribe or threaten their way out of what they did. Let them do this to me and get away with it, and you give them the eternal right to do the same damn thing to any one of you.
Access 228, your host, Anthony Oksenholt, where we report the facts and we are not for sale. If you have a news story or something that's on your mind, please feel free to give us a call at 228-337-2099. Be glad to have you on. Thank you for listening, and we do appreciate all that you do to support us and keep free and independent journalism doing what we do best. All right, y'all. So I'm going to do this video on two different channels. Access 228 and my campaign page where I am running for sheriff of Harrison County, Mississippi. Folks, I honestly do not know what to think of this video. Let's watch it.
Turn the call! Turn the call!
All right, y'all. So let's look at this video in depth. Keep in mind, this is the only video I have. I have no context on anything. I don't know what information the cops had. I do know that the video was mislabeled as this being Gulfport Police Department, and this was actually the Harrison County Sheriff's Department, if you look at the squad cars. So let's see what we have going on here.
I gotta take a shot. No, fuck it, I don't know.
Okay, you see the white SUV. You see the Harrison County deputies got their lights on. They're attempting to pull over this white car. White car backs out. Got another deputy rolling up from the opposite way. And they're attempting to block the vehicle in the white vehicle. That's important to note here, okay? At the moment, Again, I'm going by just what I see in this video, which is nowhere near the full context of everything I need to make any type of determination what's going on. I don't know what this is. I don't know why they're stopping this vehicle. Apparently, I'm assuming the deputy didn't just see her or him or whoever this is running a stop sign, because there was a deputy coming from the opposite way, like they were trying to corral or box this driver in. So we have to keep that in mind. And if anybody has any information out there, I would love further context on this. But let's see what happens here. All right. She backs into the deputy's truck, or he, or whoever it is. I think it's a female. Trying to push the truck.
Turn the car. Turn the car.
Okay. All right. Let's back that up just a second here. Because this doesn't sit well with me.
Turn the car.
All right. Pulling forward. You have a deputy here. You have a deputy over here somewhere behind his SUV. This one coming out of his pickup truck. Let's see.
Turn the car.
All right. She drives.
New email. New email.
All right. Strikes the car. This is at 0058 on the video timer. All right. Vehicle is stopped. 2 seconds later. We have the first shot 3 seconds after the vehicle stops. This is where it gets hairy, y'all. A full 3 seconds in the heat of battle is gonna fly by. Okay. You're looking at probably a second and a half if you're well trained. I'm not commenting on the training of Mississippi officers, because I know that most law enforcement officers in Mississippi are grossly undertrained. But I do believe that if you carry a firearm, you have a duty to be well trained with your weapon. And I know I can get mine out pretty fast if I need to, especially from an open carry holster. Assuming they're carrying a Safari Land holster, I can have mine out and go to work within second and a half, 2 seconds. So let's account for that. So 3 seconds before the first shot's fired. I may have heard some loud verbal commands. Let's back it up. Let's see. All right, there's loud verbal commands. There's the impact. Okay. We have 6 shots fired. Here's where and I don't like doing this, but just judging on this. 6 shots fired. I don't understand why he didn't get out of the way. Okay. I'm going to compare this to Renee Good, because everybody's familiar with that case. Get the fuck out of the way. Job number 2 is make sure that the scene is safe. Job number 1 is protect the public, obviously. What you do is you protect the public from the suspect. You protect yourself from the suspect. And then you protect the suspect from the public once in custody. This scene here is not safe for that deputy to be standing where he's at. I'm not saying that I would like the idea of letting this person go, but I think the outcome would have been a little bit better if they would have had a few more officers respond, which I know deputies cover the entire county, and it might be a little difficult to get some backup. Nobody wants to see a high-speed chase. I get that, because then it becomes dangerous, and that's what this was turning into. This is why I want more context on this to know exactly what's going on, but I don't like this. I don't know why he discharged 6 rounds in rapid succession like that. He simply could have gotten out of the guy's way, the person's way. The argument could be made either way. Again, just judging on this, because this is all I have. Could it be made that this person was trying to injure the officer? There's a possibility. But he's got a 4,000-pound vehicle in his way, blocking this SUV in. His SUV, the deputy's SUV, obviously is going to weigh more than this little foreign car that's trying to push it. Probably not going anywhere. Was 6 rounds necessary? Was 6 rounds reasonable and necessary and prudent? Again, I don't know. I don't know if this person had a weapon pointed at the officer. Maybe the officer saw something that obviously from this angle I can't see. And I'm not making excuses. I'm simply trying to come up with, information and training and everything right here matters when you're looking at the gram factors. Again, I really can't give a whole lot here. Looking at it, just judging solely on this, do I think 6 rounds was necessary? Probably not. Do I think he could have gotten out of the way and this officer here was close enough to get back into his vehicle and maybe maintain line of sight or a pursuit if necessary? Should this car have gone this way through the yard over here or gone this way through the yard over here to get around this deputy? Yeah. Could they have called and had other deputies waiting outside of this neighborhood? Yes. The other things that I have a problem with, and this is a big one for me, is you're responsible for where your round goes. Okay? I don't know how much stress shooting that the Harrison County Sheriff's Department trains on, but what if there would have been a kid over here behind this pickup truck? What if there would have been, people over here and it ricocheted, or people over here and it ricocheted? I mean, this looks like a pretty quiet neighborhood. Rounds going to go where rounds are going to go. And if you're dodging and ducking behind your vehicle over here and shooting and moving at the same time, you've got to think about where your rounds could possibly go. Now, I didn't see that. Obviously, we're getting into a little more. I'm just saying why I don't think that it was a smart decision to shoot. I'm thinking about all of this. This is the big picture. This officer was focused on this here. Not thinking about if there's a child out here. Not thinking about maybe, something going on over here, which would have been if it had gone through the windshield and through the back glass and hit somebody over here. It's possible. Do I think it was smart to shoot? Absolutely not. I don't agree with this situation just solely judging on this, but again, this is all I have. But there's so many unknowns at the time that deputy pulled his weapon and discharged 6 rounds in rapid succession just on a general public safety of the community. I think he failed at his job. And again, yeah, I'm talking about what ifs. But let me tell you something. What ifs, you can't pull back a bullet. I've carried a gun for over 20 years on me. Over 20 years, I have carried a firearm. I have been training with firearms for over 2 decades. And my fear would have been an innocent person over here because, hey, people have the right to be in their front yard. You got a house. This is a house. I'm sure there's houses on either side of this house where this was caught. I mean, there's too much that could go wrong. And that's just not knowing anything about the reason that they tried to stop this vehicle. That's not knowing anything about, that's not knowing anything about anything else that's going on here. I'm looking at time of impact, drawing, 6 rounds fired, person's down. Was 6 rounds necessary? I don't know. My training has always been 2 stop, 2 stop, 2 stop. You discharge 2 rounds and you stop firing. Never have I had any kind of training where I have discharged more than 3 rounds at a time. Usually it's 2 on the firing range. And I'm talking FDLE, which is where my training comes from, is the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Their 48 round course is never more than 3. Usually the course of fire is 2. And that's to give you muscle memory. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Not boom, 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 boom. There's way too much that could have went worse than this already went. It's already bad that the person lost their life. But God forbid there was a child over here chasing a dog that ran out the house. Or, kids are going to be kids. They don't care what's going on out there, Puppies and police attract kids. We know this. Oh, the cops are outside. Let me see what's going on. Boom, 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 boom. Ah, kid dead. Yeah, no. Not smart. That's my theory on this. I also think taking all of that out of the equation and going back to what actually happened. Let's go back to what did happen. This officer is behind his SUV. I don't think that he really needed to shoot. I think he could have escaped this way. This guy could have got back in his truck and maintained a visual pursuit. Again, I don't like that idea because, hey, car chases, people can get killed too. This is why I would like to know why they were chasing this individual. I would like to know what information they had at the time of the shooting. Um, I would like to know. I'd like to know a lot here that I don't know. And if anybody can tell me when this happened, what day it happened, um, any information like that, I would love to know. I'd love to get the dash cam. I'd love to get the body cam footage. I'd love to get the radio traffic. I'd love to get any 911 calls that were made regarding this incident. There's a lot I want to know to really put it all together for you. But I think this shooting was stupid. I think it was dangerous. Just looking at just looking at the totality of circumstances, this was ill advised. All right, there's 2 rounds. Another 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds. He's firing so fast that he doesn't know if he needed to take the next shot or not. You never want to fire any more than you have to fire. That's number one. Again, public safety. This there's a lot I don't like about this. That deputy would absolutely have his firearm taken from me and would be at least sent back to retraining if I didn't fire him for putting the public at risk. And that's just those are my thoughts. I, Even if the shoot is deemed justifiable, I think I've broken that down as to why it was stupid. Y'all want more information on what I think about shootings or uses of force? Give me a call. 228-337-2099. I am letting y'all know that I have reached out to well, I'm going to do that later. I'm not going to mix that with this. I'll do another video in a minute and post that. Because this is, yeah. Y'all take care. Watch my next video. I'm going to break down a few other things for y'all.